Good morning and welcome to the Cloffice. I hope that you are well this morning. Yesterday was Sunday, and if you have a chance to go back and listen to the message from our church yesterday, I would so recommend it. Dr. Peter Wins spoke on his favorite father in the Bible, and it was about Philip the evangelist, which you can read about and study about and unpack in Acts in chapters 6, 8, and 21. So if you have time, I would go ahead and go back and listen to the message from Sunday. It was fantastic and so encouraging, and not just for, although it was Father's Day and it was directed for dads and for men, there's so much that every single person who is a disciple of Jesus Christ can take from that message. And I just wanted to share a few things that just so stood out to me about Philip and about the message that we heard yesterday, because I ended up seeing this picture of God's balance of perfection and what he's calling us to live in. Not that Philip actually got there and was perfect, but we see these parts of who he was and how he lived as a man of God, as a husband and father, and as a minister, and this balance that is just amazing. I'm like, we should all be striving in the best ways to be that. And so in these different chapters, you learn about him, and if you're tuned in and looking, and the things that come out that I think, this is so true. As followers of Jesus Christ, as disciples, as people who truly want to fulfill all that God's called them to be and grow into, these points are just like, yeah, we need to be doing that. And so first of all, he was a family man. He was had these daughters that he raised well to be prophets and prophetess, and they were living for the Lord and serving the Lord and prophesying over people in a time where that would have been rare for women to be doing that. And so he was raising his family well and being a good dad, a good family man. But he was also, we see, hospitable and generous when he had people living with him. And the other thing is he was hardworking because he had income to be hospitable. And then we see also that he was full of the Holy Spirit, sharing the gospel, teaching the scriptures, and had a whole healing and deliverance ministry. I'm like, this is the full package. And this is something that it's not like you can just wake up and decide, I'm going to be this today. It's an ongoing journey with the Lord as we grow in our knowledge of who God is, but in our relationship with him. As we continue to fill ourselves with the scriptures, then we have them to teach and to share. As we spend time in the Lord and learn to recognize his voice, then we're ready to prophesy. We're ready to give the word of the Lord. And so this balance of being so present with our children and with our spouses and with our families and loving on them and not having separate worlds, but bringing our worlds together of this is who I am, whether my kids are right here in tow or whether I'm over here at work, this is who I am. I am a disciple of Jesus Christ. I am a minister of the gospel. So my friends, I want to encourage you to look at Philip and say, yes, this is what I need to be working towards in my relationship with the Lord, allowing God to stretch me so that I am who he has called me to be and fulfilling this perfect balance of practical raising kids, but in a spiritual way and godliness and living it out and being a minister and being so full of the Holy Spirit that as you pray for people, you see them getting healed and being delivered, and just the explosion of who you're called to be and who you were purposed to be. So I encourage you, move forward and look at Philip and ask the Lord, okay, God, how can I make these steps and grow in you and be all who you've called me to be? Have an amazing day, and God bless.